All right. Be honest. Raise your hand if today was the first day you learned that there was a player on the Lions named Trinity Benson. I need everyone to be honest. I'm going to be honest. I'm waiting. I know some of you guys didn't know who Trinity Benson was before today. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. But apparently, Trinity Benson is now a value on this slate. Good night, everyone. Very quick cram sesh. That's right, AG. We're going to cram. We got about 15 to 20 minutes here. I figure we run through some sims, check out a few of the different inputs we can tweak, see how we might be able to get an advantage on tonight. As always, we are at Run the Sims here. Let's head to the Showdown slate. Let's just run it on a baseline with these assumptions baked in. I believe we have the Packers as 12-point favorites. Detroit Lions, 18.3 implied points. Green Bay, 30.8 points. Let's do it. Oh, Cody Main, fresh off of the ETR Showdown show. This is perfect. We get the lead in, the big bump from the ETR bros. Cody Main, king of the showdowns, here to watch me botch my showdown analysis. No, welcome, Cody. Let's check this out. Let's just see what the Sims are spitting out as is here. My guess is a lot of Packers onslaughts. Aaron Rodgers showing up in the captain MVP 20% of the time. Adams 23.58%. Swift at 12, Dillon at 5.24%. I was looking at ownership early, and there was not a lot of differences between ownership relative to the sim results, at least in this kind of baseline expectation for this game, meaning ownership is incredibly efficient tonight. The field seems on top of it relative to what we expect to happen. So that means, to me, I think we need to get creative with how we think this game could go. I mean, on a base level, it is kind of crazy that the Packers looked absolutely horrendous in week one. Meanwhile, the Lions hung with the 49ers, put up a ton of points. And yet we are all just assuming that this is an incredible spot for the Packers. And I get it. I understand why. But it is very funny that we're kind of actually flying against recency bias with it with how these teams look in week one. When we go over to the custom lineups tabs, it is to be expected. Tons of 5-1 onslaughts for the Packers, and I believe that is what the field is going to do a bunch tonight. A ton of Aaron Rodgers captain, Devontae Adams. We do see a DeAndre Swift sneak in here, but it's basically every combo of an onslaught is possible. So right out the gate, if you're playing large field stuff, I think you don't necessarily have to flip this build, but I think you need to do something different than a 5-1, because that's just going to put you on such a similar construction as the field, everyone rotating through the same different players within that construction, or different players within the same construction rather. So I think there's some interesting stuff we can do if we mess around with this. I'm going to do one input tweak here and just see if this is a closer game, how it looks like. And then I'll take some suggestions from the crowd if you guys have some inputs you want to tweak. But let's just say this is a lot closer. Let's say the Lions lose by 3 and it's like 24-27. And let's bring up the Packers rush rate a little bit. Let's bring it up to like 44, and we can leave the Lions around there. And let's see what happens in this scenario. This is what I'm saying, Corey. Who the hell is Trinity Benson? I mean, we play dynasty football. We play best ball football. We play DFS, and we still get these guys we've never heard of. All right, so when we run the Sims in a closer game, we are starting to see Aaron Rodgers, captain MVP, come down a good bit. Devontae Adams holds pretty strong at around 20%. And then the other big jump is DeAndre Swift here. So run the Sims in almost all of these scenarios is really liking DeAndre Swift. I feel good about Swift heading into tonight. I think Jamar Jefferson being inactive is a very good sign that the team is confident that DeAndre Swift is fully healthy. They just keep scaring us by, saying he's questionable with this groin injury, but then they don't even suit up Jamar Jefferson. So I think it's full steam ahead for DeAndre Swift. The other noticeable thing that I'm noticing here is a decent amount of AJ Dillon, which makes sense to me, I think. And then if we head over to the custom lineups, unsurprisingly, we start to see some more balanced builds here. We see a DeAndre Swift, Trinity Benson, Jared Goff. So like a 3-3. We have more 3-3s in here. DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra, Jared Goff. I do like these lineups that include both AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones. I think in game scripts where the Packers get up early, you could see both of those guys getting a ton of work. But I think this is kind of how I want to play this. Basically, Vegas thinking it's a Packers blowout, but what happens if the Lions keep it more close? And you can see here, we do see some TJ Hawkinson pop in lineups. I think like a build like this, Hawkinson captain with Goff, Amon-Ra, and DeAndre Swift, and then an AJ Dillon, Devontae Adams. And to me, a lineup like that, despite the fact that it uses all the salary, which probably isn't ideal for avoiding dupes, but if you are in a smaller field single entry, I think this kind of lineup makes a lot of narrative sense because you're getting the Jared Goff double stack and DeAndre Swift, who's going to be very active in the passing game. And then you can tell yourself a story where all of the Packers touchdowns go through Devontae Adams and AJ Dillon. So that's kind of how I'm leaning right now. I mean, you notice even in a close game, you're still seeing a ton of Packers onslaughts, but it is nice to notice more balanced builds, more Lions 4-2 builds here. So I think Lions 3-3 and Lions 4-2 are kind of the way I would want to play this. Let's see. Do you have to pay for this site? Yes. Yes, you have to pay for this site. It's not free, but you can get 10% off with promo code Pete, or you can be a rent seeker and just come to my Showdown Crams and hope that I leave the screen share up long enough for you to steal all the information for free. But it is a great site. And if you're playing any kind of DFS volume, if you're doing any kind of 20 max, I think Run the Sims is well worth the price tag involved here. All right. Someone give me a suggestion on an input you guys want me to change, and we'll mess around with something here on an input. I'll reset it. Do you guys want to see a Lions blowout? Do you guys want to see me give all of the rushing work to AJ Dillon? Do you want me to give Trinity Benson a 45% target share? I mean, what do you want me to do? Give me something. I will be your puppet, and you can be my puppet masters here for Run the Sims. Detroit keeps it close. GB, like that's what it is as is. They have about 12-point favorites. You want it even bigger? It's just going to be all 5-1 Green Bay. Put AJ at QB. Okay, there are constraints, guys. There are constraints here. All right, let's do this. This is at least fun. Let's do it. Let's see what a Lions. Let's just say we absolutely flip it. Let's say if they go to 30.8 and the Packers go to 18.3. So Vegas is completely wrong on who wins by 12. We can do that. Great spelling here on Equineuronymous. All right, look at this. So in a blowout for the Lions, DeAndre Swift ends up showing up in 24% of lineups in the captain spot. The optimals here, lots of Amon-Ra. We got TJ Hawkinson, Swift, Goff, DeAndre. It basically flips it, right? Where now we're getting the 4-1s, 5-1s for the Lions, which makes sense. If they're scoring the most points, we are going to end up with a bunch of Lions. But it also, I think, helps you understand that there's multiple ways you can get there with the Lions 3-3 and 4-2 if they keep it close or in this kind of blowout scenario. I don't like when I see in the sim stuff like a Khalif Raymond captain. I think if you're playing really small field stuff, you could probably get away with that where you're just trying to jam in all these studs. But I'm generally manually Xing out those guys and making sure I have someone capable of accessing a ceiling. And I do think DeAndre Swift and TJ Hawkinson are the best ways to do that. I don't even know if I love an Amon-Ra St. Brown in the captain spot. If he's just going to be used, in the shallow depths of the field, I don't know if he can get us to that ceiling that we need. Let's see here. If you're flipping expected game strip, you need to adjust run rates. Yeah, I did that. The first time I did that. But in this one, the rush rate was at 45.8. You'd probably take that up to, I think Justin said like that 48, 49 range. And then you could probably bring, Packers is already pretty low down here. I guess if they're getting blown out, I don't know, bring them down like a few percentage points. I don't think that's going to change too much. but we can see. I mean, DeAndre Swift's so unique in that he's going to get used in the passing game and in both scripts. Pretty similar here, other than DeAndre Swift continuing to pop. Um, Lots of Lions here. DeAndre Swift. This is an interesting one. DeAndre Swift, captain, and then Packers onslaught. That one would probably be pretty unique. That would be pretty unique, is what I'm guessing. It's Mookie says, I can definitely see Packers steadily holding a lead, but 3 Lions guys getting there playing from behind like last week. Yeah, I think that's how I probably prefer to play it as well. Are there any other guys? I want to see what the projection is on this Benson fellow. Trinity Benson, we have in here for 3 targets, 1.6 reception, 20 yards, 0.1 TD. And our friends over what kind of ownership are we looking at Trenton Benson? Okay. So it's not too bad. It's not too bad. 13.3% as a salary relief there. Run the Sims for Rodgers getting benched. Okay. That could be fun. If we go over here, how would we even do that? I guess market share of passing. So you want him to play what? You want to play him half the game? Okay. Let's do Rodgers. Let's revert this. In this scenario, are you saying that the Packers get beat and he gets benched, or he gets benched because they're so far ahead? Now that's kind of the question. Let's just run it default with Rodgers getting benched halfway because they're winning by so much. All right, Jared Goff now pops. All Lions pop. If you take Rodgers out for half of this game, we basically plummet everywhere in Green Bay. Aaron Jones 6.18, AJ Dillon 3.08, Packers defense up here. Who would have thought the best quarterback on the slate was important to production for his team? Let's see this. Cephas only 2.3 targets. Are you talking about the projections in here? Let's see. Cephas 2.3 targets. I mean, what did he have? What did he have last game? It wasn't that much, was it? Let's look this up. He played hardly any snaps. He wasn't running a route. Although he did lead the receivers in target share and had a red zone target. So yeah, maybe that's light. I'm not sure. There you go. Maybe we bust Cephas's or boost Cephas's target share. Is that what you want? We can do that. Let's bully the optimizer on Quintez Cephas. Should we flip Benson? Let's say no to Benson. And then we can take Cephas up to 10%. And then we'll see what that does for you. And then we're going to build a lineup. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to break it. I am here to break it. See, this is the thing about all these plays. Like, you could talk yourself to any of these ancillary Lions pass catchers. What does this boost Cephas's projection to if we do that? So then it gets him up to 3 targets, almost 2 receptions, 25 yards. I mean, with Cephas, I think you're just trying to bank a touchdown here. I'm with you, Corey. Generally, 3-3 feels like the fish build. But I just think based on anyone using an optimizer, anyone hand building, everyone is just ripping Packers tonight. So I think 3-3 for one night only is going to be the contrarian play. Let's build a lineup over here. Let me reset the Sims back to the Lions keeping it close, because I do like that. Let's do a lower scoring close game. Let's say it's 21-24, and let's get the rush rate up a little bit for Green Bay. And that seems fine. I like Amon-Ra. I would say I agree with this take. I think Amon-Ra looks good. He played on 72% of dropbacks last week, and I think he'll be pretty heavily involved. I think he's probably the third in targets after Hawkinson and Swift. Oh boy, now we're really galaxy braining. Which backup QB is the play? All right, easy, Chris. Relax, Chris. Um, So if we are going to make a line, I do want to go with a Lions captain lineup, and we can use this for some idea generation here. Let's go with a Swift captain. I think Swift captain was looking like one of the bigger leverage points on the slate relative. So in this scenario, Swift shows up in captain 17% of the time. I was looking over at ETR's ownership projection. They have him captain 10% of the time. So a little bit of leverage there. Nothing huge, but I think it does get us toward an interesting build. I do really like this lineup. I think I talked about it earlier. The Hawkinson, Jared Goff, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, Devonta Adams, AJ Dillon. I wonder how duplicated that would be in an 1,100 person contest. Probably fairly duped. I think we would want to get a little more creative with probably that fourth Lions pass catcher. Because if we're eating all of this chalk, we're playing the Dillon, the Hawk, and the Goff. So that leaves us with 3,000. Most people are just going to put in 3,000. Khalif Raymond. No, did I do something wrong here? Adams, Dillon. Where was the lineup I was looking at? Amon-Ra. You know what? Let's see here. I must have inputted that wrong. I also kind of like this balanced build here. Oh, here it was. Devontae Adams, AJ Dillon, TJ Hawkinson. Yeah. This was this lineup, at least 600 on the table. I mean, I really like that lineup. I wonder how duplicated that would be. Or maybe you just get cute and you play Trinity Benson. You just play Trinity Benson and you feel alive because you play a guy in Showdown that you had never heard of. Kevin, can we please not do this? Can we please not wish this on DeAndre Swift? DeAndre Swift had an injury-plagued rookie year, and then he comes back and has 11 targets last week. Can we just let him live and get fantasy points? Please. Swift captain, come on, Pete. Are you saying you don't want me to put him in, or you're happy that I put him in? I'm very happy with Swift. Couple 6 RB builds. Ooh, that sounds sexy. Seeing projected ownership having Khalif Raymond twice as high for Amon-Ra here seems odd to me. What am I seeing for ownership? I'm seeing them being very similar ownership, right around 20% in the flex. Wow, here we go. Kylan being the alpha play. Okay, Giant is happy. He's happy with DeAndre Swift. You guys, we need to shut down this stream. You guys are off the reservation now with these DeAndre Swift takes. So I do think this is kind of my preferred build here. If you do go with a 3-3 balance, I guess you could cycle in some of these other guys. You could throw in a Randall Cobb. I mean, Randall Cobb is going to split time with Amari Rodgers in the slot. I think if you're in large field with a build like this, you probably want to leave more salary on the table. I think in my single entry red zone showdown here, I can probably get up here and use more of the salary, which I think is what I'm going to do here. All right, guys, these shows are meant to be quick blitzes, idea generation. If you guys want to mess around with the Sims yourselves, you can head over to runthesims.com. I also have been having a blast messing around with their player prop tool. So any single bet that you want to run through the screener, you can do that. You can head over here. You can see, I believe Aaron Rodgers pass yards, I bet it on a site was 289.5. You put it in, say the juice is getting steamed a little bit. It's now up to minus 130. You can calculate it, run the sims. We'll do the analysis here. And it will show you, why is it all red? 289.5. I've never seen it all red before. It says it's a bad bet both ways. Maybe it's directly on. So with the juice now at 130, I think if the juice was down at 110, it'd probably be a slightly better bet. So I happened to put in the exact line that made it a bad bet on both sides. But yeah, any kind of prop odds. I was looking at the underdog ones. I bet DeAndre Swift, his total scrimmage yards. You can come and do that. I believe it was at 70.5 for DeAndre Swift's scrimmage yards. Looked at that, and I believe we have his median at 81 scrimmage yards. So I like tossing that DeAndre Swift over in your underdog parlays if you're doing the pick'em game. That one looked nice to me. And then I also did take in that one, I posted on Twitter, I took A.J. Dillon. It wasn't showing a ton of value, but intuitively, I just think if this game goes how Vegas thinks it's going to go, I liked the over on 38.5 rushing yards for A.J. Dillon. I believe we have him at 42 yards. So not a ton of extra meat on that bone, but just enough for a confidence boost. So this are just a few of the ways you can run the sims for your pick'ems, for your bets, for your showdown. I'm with you, Giants. I got Swift 69 rush and receiving yards. Feels like a total smash. I completely agree. I took Swift receiving yards. All right. We're all on Swift. We're all on the Swift train. Thank you, Willis. Good luck, guys. Hope you guys all have a great game. By the way, if any of you guys are NFT bros, I'm doing a very special one-off show tonight with my friends over at Club in GMI. They are wizards with the NFTs. My friend Davis Maddock, who you guys might know, will be joining us. We're going to be live on my channel at 9:30 talking with those guys. If you want to mute Monday Night Football and watch us talk about NFTs, we'll be doing that. Appreciate you guys all. Nick doing pull-ups at the gym today just to toughen up his hands for hand building. That's right. You got to get those calluses. Good luck tonight, guys. We will see you later tonight for Club in GMI. Peace out.
Thank you.